All right, there we go. Okay, we're going to get started in just a minute. I'm just trying to get my materials ready. Why? No, that doesn't work. Stop. You finally see a person you like. What does that mean? Why are you seeing people you don't like? Don't do that. All right, so today is called It's Idiomatic. So I'm going to teach you about idioms. We're going to play some games, and I'm going to teach you about idioms. All right? Vicky, there are many people who pretend to be other people here. There are many people who pretend to be other people on the internet. You know what's the saddest thing about people who pretend to be other people? Instead of pretending to be somebody else, they could just spend time trying to make themselves a more interesting person. So when you pretend to be somebody else, that says a lot about your psychology. When you pretend to be someone else, it says that you're not happy with who you are. So you pretend to be someone else because you are not very pleased with who you are. Why would you pretend to be somebody else unless you're not proud of who you are? If you are proud of who you are, then you don't pretend to be anybody else. You know? So, I don't know if you have ever pretended to be someone, but if you have, it's not a good thing. Why do I teach English here? What good does it do for me? I'm also on YouTube while I'm here. And I'm building my following and building my audience, which builds my reputation as a teacher. And why? Because I like to help people. Is that such a strange thing? How sad is the world when we question someone helping others? I teach because I love to teach. But to be a teacher, you must have students. Hello, Giuseppe. I wonder if there's a way to turn that off. Navigate to Chrome settings, then language settings, then disable the offer to. I don't, well, it's not automatic. Anyway. Purple. I allow people to be on stage when I'm not teaching. Yes. When I'm not teaching. I look angry today? No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. No. So, we are ready to start now. So I am going to teach now. So, yes, we are going to learn now about idioms. Okay? Today is about idioms. Today is about idioms. Tomorrow is an open class for any questions about anything. Okay? So, this is called professionalism. I have things that I have prepared for today. So if you have questions that are not about idioms, then you should wait until tomorrow. Okay? Okay, so today is about idioms. So we're going to start today and we're going to play a game, and I'm going to describe an idiom. I'm going to describe an idiom and you have to tell me what idiom you think it is. Okay? So here is our first idiom. The first idiom, the first clue. The first clue is, I'm going to give you 3 clues to guess this idiom. Okay? Guess the idiom. That's what we're doing here now. So here's the first idiom. The first clue is, soldiers once did this when there was no pain medicine. Soldiers once did this when there was no pain medicine. Think about it. Soldiers once did this when there was no pain medicine. What is the idiom? Hello, Dima. Anyone? No one? No one has a clue? No one knows? Okay, let's go with the second clue. The second clue is, this idiom means doing something unpleasant because you have no choice. So if you have to do something unpleasant, something not fun, but you have no choice, you have to do it, then this is the idiom we use. You have to do something. That's it. Alex got it. Alex got it. It's called bite the bullet. Well done, Alex. Soldiers did this when there was no pain medicine. When they needed to operate on you. If maybe you were in a war and they shot your arm and you have a bullet in your arm, and now they need to get the bullet out or they need to cut off your arm. So they didn't have any pain medicine back then. Well, if they did, it wasn't available. So instead of pain medicine, they would give you a bullet to put between your teeth and bite down when it's painful, because the bullet was a soft metal made of lead. Okay? And yeah, this is the idiom that means just accept it and do it. Just accept it and do it. Bite the bullet means just accept it and do it. So maybe you have to tell your boss some bad news. You have to tell your boss some bad news, so somebody says, well, I have to bite the bullet and tell my boss. I don't want to, it's not going to be fun, but I have to do it. That's called biting the bullet. Yeah, it is unpleasant. Yeah, that's why you'll remember. Really, that's what they used to do. They gave you a piece of wood or a piece of maybe a belt, like a leather belt, leather, or a bullet to chew on when they would do surgery on you because they had no medicine for pain. Or alcohol. They often would give you a lot of alcohol. They would make you drink a lot really fast, and hopefully that will help you a little bit. But that's it. Okay, so bite the bullet. That's what it means, to bite the bullet. Okay, bite the bullet means you have something unpleasant, something not fun that you must do. So you have to bite the bullet and do it. Okay? Ellie says, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. This is a good one. That's a funny one. I'm going to stop very quickly to tell you about that idiom because that idiom is a very funny idiom. Ellie, that idiom was created by an author. I can't remember his name right now. But when he wrote this idiom, he wrote a book. He wrote a book. And in this book was this idiom and was this idea that poor people should just work harder. And if you just work harder, that you'll do better. But actually, the funny thing is, the idiom originally meant you can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. That's not physically possible. Can you lift yourself off the ground? No, you cannot lift yourself. So the original meaning of pull yourself up by the bootstraps originally meant that you can't help yourself in some ways. When there's certain things that are bad that happen, you need the help of others. You can't just do it by yourself. Okay, so the original meaning is actually the opposite of what many people say it means now. Many people, when they say you should just pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, they really do mean they think that you should just work harder. You're poor? Oh, you should just work harder. That's the problem. The problem is you're lazy. But no, that's not true. It's what it means is it's not possible to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps in an unfair situation. Okay, so you need the help of others. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, well, first, let me just tell you. A sentence that you could use, for example, for bite the bullet. You could say, I didn't want to pay so much for the repair, but I had to bite the bullet. So maybe your car was broken. Your car's broken, your car needs to be fixed, and it's very expensive, but you have no choice. You have to fix your car. So you must bite the bullet and do it. Okay? You have to pay this unpleasant bill because it's expensive. All right? Okay, now I want you to give me a situation where you could use bite the bullet. So tell me where you could use bite the bullet. I need to tell my boss some bad news. I have to bite the bullet. Give me a situation where you think you can use bite the bullet, and I'll tell you if you are correct or not. Car 1, bite the bullet means to do something unpleasant that you must do. You don't want to do it, but you must. Okay? Ah, there we go. I didn't want to go to her birthday party, but I had to bite the bullet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's your boss's birthday party or a neighbor's birthday party, and you don't really like them, but you have to go because it's your wife's best friend. Or, whatever, something like that. It's something you don't want to do, but you have to for some reason. Okay? Bullet. Bullet. B-U-L-L-E-T. I had to tell my parents about our relationship, so I had to bite the bullet. Or you could say, I had to bite the bullet and tell my parents about our relationship. I had to bite the bullet and tell my parents about our relationship. I don't want to study, but I have to bite the bullet. Okay, yeah, I don't like to study, I don't want to study, I have to bite the bullet, sure. Can we use the present situation? What do you mean? Present tense? Yeah. I need money, I need to work, so I have to bite the bullet. Louise, I think bite the bullet is not about a lifestyle. Bite the bullet is about a decision. Okay? So think about something that you have to do that's not fun. Like paying a bill, or telling somebody some bad news, or doing something not fun. You know? Okay, the toilet is clogged in the bathroom. I don't want to clean it, but I have to bite the bullet and do it. Okay, so bite the bullet is about you have to do something unpleasant. Okay? Yeah, working is unpleasant, and I need money too, but that's not really a decision. That's a lifestyle. That's different. Okay? So use bite the bullet about a decision or choice or something that you must do that is not fun. But it's one activity. It's not many of them. Okay? I hate going to the dentist, but I'll just have to bite the bullet and make an appointment. Good. When my mother was sick, I have to bite the bullet. Lisa, you could say when my mother is sick, I have to bite the bullet and pay the bills, or I'm not sure why if your mother is sick, you should want to go help your mother, right? So I think bite the bullet is when you have to do something. You have to do something that's not fun. Okay? If you have to do something that's not fun, then okay, so maybe you don't like helping your mom when she's sick, so you have to bite the bullet and do it. I hope that's not true, but okay. You have to pay the bills, right? So, when my mother was sick, there were many bills that I had to bite the bullet and pay. Okay? When my mother was sick, there were many bills that I had to bite the bullet and pay. I don't like traveling by airplane, but this time I had to bite the bullet. Yeah, or I have to bite the bullet. Good. I have to bite the bullet and clean the dishes, Alex. We usually say dishes. You could say plates, but plates is only one kind of dish. So we usually say dishes, like cups and plates and bowls all together are dishes. Okay? I don't want to clean the dishes, but I have to bite the bullet and clean the dishes. Or buy a dishwasher. That's right. Okay, let's see. Did I miss any? I have to bite the bullet to increase my salary. That doesn't work, Carwan. There has to be some act. Guys, there has to be something that you must need to do. It's one thing. Not like I hate work. Everybody hates work, but that's not that's not one thing. That's every day. I'm talking about one thing that you must do that's not pleasant. Okay? That's something you have to bite the bullet and do. Okay? It's too difficult to open my eyes after waking up, but I have to bite the bullet and fill me up with a cup of coffee. Yeah, okay, that one might work. Yeah, you have to get up and do it. You have to bite the bullet. Yeah. I have to bite the bullet and tell my mom that I quit from university. Right. Ellie, that's a good one too, but I have a list that I'm working from today, okay, Ellie? So let me try to do my list first, and after I finish my list, then we can talk about any extra ones that you want to ask about, okay? Due to health issues, I decided to bite the bullet and quit my job. Good. I should bite the bullet and apologize to my husband. Good. I don't like traveling. Yes, good. I don't really want to see my new leader because he is my ex, but I have to bite the bullet. Yeah, okay, good. I don't like going to the dentist, but I have to... Yeah, that's right. That man seems to be stingy, but I have to bite the bullet. Okay, maybe, Tony. If you're the salesperson and you see somebody and you think they look cheap, like they're not going to buy anything, but you need to make a sale and your boss is watching you, or maybe it's somebody you know that you don't like. You know, I don't like that guy, but I need to make a sale. So I need to bite the bullet and try to sell him this phone. Okay? I have to bite the bullet and visit my annoying aunt. Okay, good. I have to bite the bullet and pay the high tuition. Probably, yeah. If I want to go to school, then I have to bite the bullet and pay the high tuition. Okay? Can I say I don't have to bite the bullet? I don't think I've ever heard that, Alex. Maybe you could say I avoided biting the bullet. Maybe would mean there was something unpleasant that you needed to do, but somehow you got out of it. Maybe you could say I avoided biting the bullet. Something like that, maybe, but that would be not very common. Okay? He finally bit the bullet and apologized for his mistake. That's a proper use of it, Carwin. Good. Yeah, all right, very good. All right, let's go to the next one. So here's the next clue. I'm going to give you 3 clues to try to guess the idiom. And then if you don't guess, I'll tell you what it is. Okay? All right, let's see. Let me choose a good one. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, the first clue is imagine hitting a hammer perfectly. Imagine hammering perfectly. What is the idiom that describes hammering perfectly? Nailed it is a good one. Yes, that is an alternate answer. That is an alternate possible answer. But that's not the one I'm looking for. There is another one that's very close to that, Raham. What is the longer version of nailed it? So imagine hammering perfectly. What's the idiom that describes hammering perfectly in a longer way? Not nailed it. Nailed it is good, though. Nailed it does mean the same thing. Anyone? Not ate it, no. And hello, Islam. Nobody knows? Okay, how about I go to the second clue? The second clue, this idiom means that you are being exactly correct. Your answer is exactly correct. But it also has to do with nailing, right? And hammering. Remember the word hammer. Hammer has to do with it. Somehow it has to do with using a hammer and being exactly correct. There it is. Rose got it. That's it. Rose got it. It's called hitting the nail on the head. Hitting the nail on the head is an idiom that means to do something exactly correct. To say something exactly correctly or do something exactly correctly. Usually it's about saying it. If you say something and somebody says, that's exactly right, you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, Raham, it's close. Nailed it. That's right. Nailed it is the modern version, right? But the original version is to hit the nail on the head. Okay? To hit the nail on the head. All right? And it means to be exactly correct. So, your teacher will say this if you give the perfect answer. You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head means you gave the perfect answer. That's exactly right. Okay? So you could say, John really hit the nail on the head when he said the company needs better communication. So he said the company really needs better communication. And somebody said, that's right, that's the problem. He hit the nail on the head. Okay? So you have to imagine, here is a nail. This is a nail right here. And I have a hammer. And if you hit that nail perfectly, then boom, it goes right down into it, right? One hit and it's perfect. You go right down. That's to give the perfect answers, to hit the nail perfectly. Okay, you hit the nail on the head. All right? Why is it important to learn idioms? Because every language uses idioms, and idioms make language more colorful. Sometimes it's easier to say something with an idiom. Idioms are just a few words, but they draw a big picture. So sometimes when you are trying to tell someone something, instead of using many words, you could find the right idiom and just use a few words. Okay? They're colorful. They make language more interesting. They describe things more clearly. They make you see a picture that makes you understand better in your mind. Okay? Okay, all right, good. That's a good one. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is an easy one. I think this one will be easy for you, okay? The first clue is imagine a surprise cat escaping. Imagine a surprise cat escaping. What is the idiom that describes a cat escaping? Anyone know? There it is. Yep, Sobaz got it. Let the cat out of the bag. Let the cat out of the bag. It means to reveal a secret, to tell a secret. To tell a secret is to let the cat out of the bag. Okay? So if, oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. I was supposed to keep that secret. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I let the cat out of the bag. Oops. I let the cat out of the bag means, oops, I told you something I wasn't supposed to say. Okay? I was supposed to keep that secret, but now it's out. The cat is out of the bag. Means the secret is out. Okay? Anna let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. Anna let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. So she accidentally told somebody about the surprise party that she wasn't supposed to tell, right? That's to let the cat out of the bag. And hell yeah, what I would suggest is you can do a search on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, how many idioms do we have in English that are the same in Arabic? Because every language has some idioms that we share or that are almost exactly the same, right? So you can start by learning the English versions of idioms that you already probably know from Arabic. Okay? That's a good place to start. That's true for any language, right? You can ask ChatGPT which idioms are the same in Chinese as in English, or which idioms are the same in Japanese as English, which idioms are the same in French as in English, or almost the same. And that's a good place to start, because every language, we have some idioms that we share. Okay? Hello, Belen. I feel a little bit better. I slept most of the day yesterday. I needed to crash. My body had no more energy to give. I didn't share my plan with my best friend because she always lets the cat out of the bag. Good, Raham. That's perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do we change the verb depending on the subject? Yes. Yeah. So, I let the cat out of the bag, he let the cat out of the bag, she let the cat out of the bag, they let the cat out of the bag, let me think. It would only change to lets if, let me think. He lets, if you're talking about a hypothetical situation, if he lets the cat out of the bag, we're in trouble. Okay, so in that case, right, if you're talking about a possibility or hypothetical, then yeah, that would work, right? You can ask ChatGPT that question. Like, which situations might you change the verb for this situation, this idiom? Marius's dad is an expert on it. That's funny. What's the difference between a proverb and an idiom? That's a pretty good question. So idioms are more like a phrase. Idioms are a phrase whose meaning can't be understood from the individual words. Okay? So if you just look at the individual words, you won't really get it. So it's a figurative way of describing something, right? That adds color, right? So break a leg. If I say break a leg is an idiom. It means good luck. But when you hear it, if you don't know that it means good luck, you will be very confused, right? That's an idiom, okay? But proverbs are more like they offer wisdom or advice or a common belief. So look before you leap. Look before you leap is a proverb. It's not an idiom, okay? Let the cat out of the bag is an idiom because there's a figurative language. You have to picture one situation that describes another situation. Okay, so a proverb is just like don't count your chickens before they hatch. That's a proverb. The early bird catches the worm. That's a proverb. Okay? Now, some proverbs are considered idioms also, like that last one is also kind of considered an idiom. The early bird catches the worm, because that's a figurative way of talking, right? You're imagining one situation to picture another. Okay, so my answer would be that proverbs are more like great, simple advice, and idioms are usually something that has something you have to imagine, right? Like kill two birds with one stone, barking up the wrong tree, raining cats and dogs. That's something that's figurative that makes you imagine something else. Proverbs are more like just good advice. Okay, like long-standing advice. Okay? Excuse me. Hello, Norman. Good to see you again. Thank you, Carwan. I planned a surprise for my father on his birthday, but my younger brother let the cat out of the bag. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, he let would be... you could say she lets or he lets, but that's describing something else. You could also say he let the cat out of the bag would be past tense, right? So, present tense, she lets the cat out of the bag. But that's a very weird situation to describe it in present tense that way, unless it's a hypothetical. If she lets the cat out of the bag, then it makes more sense. Okay? But, you know, I mean, I guess you could say he lets the cat out of the bag all the time, or she lets the cat out of the bag all the time. That would be a descriptive way of, you know, secondhand describing somebody's behavior. In that case, you would use lets. Yeah. I like people who let the cat out of the bag. Because of them, I know some secrets, okay? Is a horse of a different color considered an idiom? Yes. Yeah, a horse of a different color would be an idiom. And that just means that's a different thing. That's all it means, right? So maybe you're talking to somebody and they say, oh, but what about this? And you say, oh, no, that's a horse of a different color. That means that's not the same situation. That's different. You can't compare them. That's a horse of a different color. Okay? Straight from the horse's mouth is a very interesting idiom. A long time ago, if you wanted to buy a horse, you would look at the horse's mouth to see their teeth, to see how healthy they are. So, if you yourself go and open the horse's mouth and look and see, oh, look, it's got nice teeth, then you checked, not somebody else, you checked the horse yourself. So you know the information yourself. Somebody didn't tell you that the horse has good teeth. You found out and opened it yourself. So, straight from the horse's mouth means that you went to go get the information directly. That you didn't ask somebody to do it for you. You did it directly. Okay? And yes, I would say idioms are used much more commonly in English than they are in Chinese. In Chinese, when I used idioms in Chinese, sometimes people would look at me funny because sometimes in Chinese, idioms sound a bit more philosophical. They're more like a piece of wisdom, and it's weird to add that into the middle of the daily conversation. So they're not as common. They do use them, of course. Of course, Chinese people use idioms. I think not as commonly as we do. Okay? I know many people who use English idioms all the time. We use them regularly because they help us describe things more simply. But in my experience in Chinese, they're not used as commonly in Chinese. When you use them, people sometimes think it sounds too old-fashioned, I think. Okay? Yeah, you only change the verb depending on the subject. That's what I said. So that's what I mean. He let, I let, you let. In most situations, that would be correct. Unless you're talking about a hypothetical situation, he lets, if she lets, or you're talking about a current time, which would be a very odd thing to describe. He lets the cat out of the bag all the time. That's the only way I can think of that would be common to use that form of lets. Okay? Are proverbs less common than idioms? Ah, I think maybe yes, but I don't know if I would say it's. Maybe it's not that they're less common. It might be that there are just fewer of them, right? So there are so many idioms, but there are not as many proverbs, I think. So I think it's less a matter of commonality and more a matter of numbers. Okay? They just have more idioms. So because there are more idioms, they're more commonly used. Okay? Yeah, Chinese idioms are not that common. Not that common. You use them, but not that often. Not like we do. Okay? Um, but you do use them. You know, 熟能生巧. People say that. Practice makes perfect. You know? You know, 一石二鸟. 一石二鸟, that's somewhat common, right? Two birds with one stone, right? Idioms usually have something related to culture or context. Yes. But context, I mean, of course it has something to do with context. Everything has to do with context. Do I know any Arabic idioms? I don't. No. I don't think so. Lisa, I did learn some Chinese idioms. Let's see. And the one thing I like about Chinese idioms are usually very rhythmic, right? Like 熟能生巧, like blah 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 blah. There's like 4 tones or 3 tones. It's usually 4, if I remember right. 4 characters, right? And that makes them a bit more, I think, easier to remember because they're always going to be in 4 characters like that, you know? Yeah, look at that. See, 2 birds with 1 stone. That's an idiom that exists in many, many cultures, right? So we have 2 birds with 1 stone. Chinese has 2 birds with 1 stone. Arabic has 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay? Yeah. Cheer up. Do I look mad today? Something? Do I look mad? I'm not mad. Is not all that glitters is gold. Not all that glitters is gold. That's an idiom. That could be a proverb. That could be a proverb. Not all that glitters is gold. I think that falls almost in between because it's almost figurative, like you're trying to imagine other things that might be glittery, right? So I think that falls right in between a proverb and an idiom. Okay? We are more aggressive. We kill two birds with one shot. Yeah. Yes, I use HelloTalk on my computer. Okay, next idiom. Let's go to the next idiom. Next idiom. Okay, the first clue of the next idiom is this idiom sounds like you are trapped under a storm cloud. You are trapped under a storm cloud. What is this idiom? That's it. Feeling under the weather. That's it. Yeah. To be under the weather. Under the weather. It means that you feel sick or tired. You feel sick or tired, so you say, today I feel under the weather. Ah, where's Joe today? Where's Joe? Oh, Joe's sick. He's at home. He's under the weather today. He's feeling under the weather. Okay? Zoe, you can't use the app on the computer. You can open a live stream on a computer, right? So you can't actually use HelloTalk unless you use an emulator, I think. But even then, I don't think so for live like this. But if you want to open a live stream, what you do is you copy the website address, right? So when it gives you a link, I just open that link in Chrome. And then I can open it on my computer and use all my equipment. Okay? But you can't watch it. You can only make one. You can't actually watch them on the computer. Okay? All right, so once again, feeling under the weather. Under the weather, very, very common. This one we say all the time. Yesterday, I was feeling under the weather. Yesterday, I was feeling a bit tired, a bit sick. I was under the weather. Okay? Today I'm feeling a bit under the weather. All right? Now, this one has a funny story. Why do we call it under the weather when you're sick? It's because a long time ago, this idiom, it comes from ships, boats, right? If you worked on a boat, right? Maybe you were on a boat and you're out in the ocean and there is big storms are coming, and it's cold, and it's raining, and it's windy, and you are sick. So you're outside, and you're pulling the ropes on the deck, and the captain is yelling at you to do things, and it's raining, and it's windy, and there's waves coming in. You're sick. That's not a good place to be when you are sick. So the captain will say, you are sick. Go down below. Get under the weather. Which means get out from under the weather. That's what it really means. Get out from under the weather. So he's telling you to go down and stay dry because you're sick. Okay? So this is one that comes from working on boats a long time ago. When you were sick, they would tell you to go down under the deck so that you were out from under the weather. Okay? So if you feel like you don't want to go to work because you're sick, right? I'm sick today. I feel under the weather. I can't come in. Bob is under the weather today. He won't be coming in to work. Okay? You say it when you're sick or when you're tired, right? Yesterday I wasn't sick, but I was definitely tired. I was under the weather. Okay? It means that you don't feel good. That's all. Okay? It means you don't feel good. Train wreck, Hojer, means something really bad. If I say, oh, that was a train wreck, that means it was a terrible performance of something, right? A terrible, somebody tried to do something and it did not go well. It was a train wreck. Okay? So, for example, maybe a band, right? A bunch of people get up together to play music and they don't know the song. They didn't learn the song. So there are 5 people trying to play a song they don't know. That's not good. It's going to be a train wreck. Means it's terrible. Okay? But I don't think I've ever heard train wreck mean you're tired. No, train wreck means you are a mess. Okay? Sometimes we just say I'm a wreck. I'm a wreck means I'm a mess. Okay? I'm feeling a little under the weather tonight, so I don't think I'll go out. Right, yes. I sleep with the AC nowadays, that's why I feel under the weather. Okay? I won't be able to attend the meeting today, I'm feeling under the weather. Right, good. Excuse me. So let's see. Islam said, "What does it mean to send someone to the Coventry?" That is a British idiom, not an English, not an American one. The Coventry was a place during the Civil War of England, not America. The English Civil War. The prisoners of war. They were the royalist prisoners of war, apparently the royalists, the ones who support the royals, I guess. They were sent to a place outside the city called the Coventry, and this place was like so far out and away from everything that it was like, we forget about you. We don't even know you exist anymore. We sent you out to the Coventry, we forgot about you. Okay? So it means that you deliberately gave somebody the silent treatment, or you deliberately tried to ostracize someone. To ostracize means to shun. Like, nope, I'm not talking to you, I'm not looking at you, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. You go away. You and I, we're not having anything to do with each other anymore. Okay, so I'm sending you to the Coventry means I'm not going to even acknowledge that you exist anymore. Ostracize. To ostracize is a vocabulary word that means to treat somebody like an outsider, like to shun them. Like, I don't want you. You go away. We're going to ostracize you. It means we think you are bad, so we are going to not deal with you anymore. Okay? It's kind of like to ban someone or banish someone. Similar. Okay? Thank you, Raham. I'm okay. If you want to swim with me, I feel tired under the weather. You could say that, Lisa. Or you could say, I don't feel like swimming today because I'm under the weather. Okay? It's like I ghost you. Kind of. It's similar to that. But originally the meaning was like the prisoners. We would send the prisoners off someplace where we don't see them anymore. So I don't even know that you're alive. I don't know you exist. You're in the Coventry. That's out in a place where I don't even know you are alive anymore. I don't pay attention to you. Okay, so ghosting is a little bit different. Ghosting means I'm friends with you today, and tomorrow I stop talking to you, I disappear completely, I don't talk to you ever again, and I didn't give you a reason why. That's a ghost. To ghost someone means to leave without any notice or explanation. Okay? Okay, let me go to the next one. The next idiom. Okay, the next idiom, this one's easy too, I think. Let's see. No, we'll do this one. Okay, this one's a little harder. Okay, so the first clue of the next idiom is imagine punching a big bag of feathers. You are punching a big bag of feathers. What is the idiom? To punch a big bag of feathers. Anyone? Carolina, you're very close. You're very close. Not hit the hay. It means going to bed. You're correct. It does mean to go to bed. It's not hit the hay. It's hit the anyone? Hit the sack. Hit the sack. Sack, S-A-C-K. It means a bag, is what a sack is. Okay, it's a big bag. They used to use sacks for things like vegetables, like potatoes, right? So you would buy a big sack of a bag of potatoes, and you'd put it on your shoulder, right? That was a big sack of potatoes. Now, a long time ago, again, on boats. On boats, if you worked on a boat, sometimes you didn't have a bed. There was no bed. If you were the captain, you have a bed. You know, maybe if you're up high, you have a bed. But if you are not, then you don't have a bed. So if you don't have a bed, then you sleep somewhere down below in the boat. And many times they would sleep where they had the cargo. And cargo means whatever they're carrying. So maybe they have sacks. They have sacks of something. Sacks of grain, sacks of wheat, sacks of rice, sacks of flour, sacks of whatever. And that's what they would have on the boat. And you would lay down and put your head on the sack. Your head would hit the sack. Okay? Your head would hit the sack. Okay? Hit the hay means the same thing. But instead of coming from boats, that one comes from farms. Because many times the farm workers, they slept in the barn on the hay. Or they would have a pillow that had hay stuffed in it. So hit the hay meant that you put your head down on a pillow that was filled with hay. Okay? I'm teaching about idioms, Lily. I'm teaching about idioms. Do the best you can. Okay? We say this idiom when you're tired at night. You're tired. You want to go to bed. So you say, I'm going to hit the sack. Or I'm going to hit the hay. I'm going to hit the sack. I'm going to hit the hay. That means I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Okay? It's time to hit the sack. It's time to hit the hay. Dokai. Chabadodis. Okay? I'm exhausted. I need to hit the sack. I need to hit the sack. Okay? And there's another one. Have you guys ever heard, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite? Have you ever heard sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite? Why do they say sleep tight? What's tight? The tight thing is, again, a long time ago, beds sometimes were made of rope. So the bed frame is made of wood, but the thing that you lay on is made of rope. And the ropes, sometimes the ropes, they get loose. And then your bed is like this when you sleep on it. And that's not very comfortable. So, sleep tight means your ropes are tight. The bed is firm. Sleep tight. Okay? Instead of the ropes being loose, the ropes are tight. Sleep tight. Do you understand? And Jake, why do I always broadcast live so late? Jake, 我是美国人，在美国，现在这是早上，不是晚上。Okay? So I broadcast in the morning here. It's the evening there. Okay? Yeah. But it's 10:40. It's not that late. It's not that late. I usually start around 9:30, 10. Okay? That's when I usually start. Okay? It's 9:30, 10 a.m. my time. p.m. your time. Okay? All right, I think I have time to do one more idiom. One more idiom. So the next idiom, the clue. The clue here is kick the bucket. Actually, let's do this next one. No, not this one. Let's do this one. Imagine something. This one's easy. This is something that means it's as easy as eating dessert. Something as easy as eating dessert. Let's do this one. Yeah, that one was easy, right? A piece of cake. A piece of cake. Okay? It's morning for me here. It's morning here. So a piece of cake means something very easy. Okay? Something very easy is a piece of cake. Okay? This is something that you use, maybe you took a test and it was really easy. And they say, how was the test? Oh, it was a piece of cake. It was a piece of cake. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, that's right. Sweet tooth is different, Jack. Sweet tooth, that means 你非常喜欢吃很甜的东西. Okay? If you like dessert, if you like to eat sweet things, then you have a sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth means I like to eat anything sweet. Candy, cake, cookies, anything. Okay? 不啊？什么？我喜欢吃啊 right, yeah, same thing. 都可以。差不多。Why only one sweet tooth? That's a good question. I think it's like a joke. I think it's a joke, Dima. It's like one of my teeth. One of my teeth really likes sweet things, so I have to eat them. It's not my fault. It's just because one of my teeth, it loves sweet stuff. It's kind of like a joke. That's why I eat it, because one of my teeth just loves it. All right. So why do we say this? I'll tell you why. Why do we say easy or piece of cake or easy as cake? Because a long time ago in the 1800s, sometimes you would do a little competition for fun, and the prize would be a cake. Okay, so maybe he would do some sort of like a singing competition, or a speech competition, or something. And if you win, what do they give you? They give you a cake. Okay? So, piece of cake. All right. And hello, Maria, over there in my YouTube. How are you, Maria? Okay, it has been an hour and 10 minutes, and it's about time for me to get going. One of the reasons why I felt so sick yesterday, and one of the reasons why I was under the weather, is because I spend far too much time in front of screens. I have a screen here, and a screen here, and a screen here, and a screen here, and a screen here. Right now I am looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens, all looking at me, and there's another one behind there, 7. And so it's sometimes I'm just looking at screens too much all day, and my eyes, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. Yeah. So sometimes, guys, you need to just let me have a break, because I need a break, you know? When I'm not doing my live streams here, I have to teach lessons on screens. And when I'm not teaching lessons on screens, I have to work on my book on screens. And when I'm not working on my book, I have to work on my website on screens. And when I'm not working on my website, I have to work on my YouTube on screens. So I have to work on screens a lot, and sometimes my eyes just need a break. That's all. And I get tired. Yeah. Can I play Oxytocin by Billie Eilish? I am going right now, so I don't have time to play anything right now, but maybe I'll come back. Let me see something. Wait a minute. I don't know that song. I'm not familiar with any Billie Eilish, really.
Let's skip this one.
Let me see something very quickly. I hate commercials.
We can make you believe we know what we're doing.
Commercials are so stupid.
We do not.
Like a techno thing.
Can't take it back once it's been said in motion.
Hmm.
You know I love to rub it in like lotion.
This one seems a little bit too...
If you want, you pray on Sunday. Could you come my way on Monday?
It's not my style. It's not my style. I like the drums. But that's not my style. Yeah. Yes, there will be a live stream tomorrow. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll do this because I haven't done it in a long time, and because I did get things set up yesterday. I think it's okay, so I'm going to test it now. So let me do this. One moment. It might not work well for my YouTube audience, but for my Hello Talk audience, you can tell me if it works okay or not. One moment. All right. I'm going to choose some song. I don't know what, and I'll just play one song, and that'll be it. Okay? Sijad. I'm going to say this one more time, Sijad. I know what you want to learn, but that's not how this works. Okay? You get to learn whatever I decide to teach. Okay? I know you want to learn English tenses, but you don't get to tell me what I teach. All right? You have to show up to my courses and learn what I'm teaching that day. Okay, Sajad? All right. I'm going to play a song. I'm going to try to play a song. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's see. I'm just going to choose the one that I see that's on the screen because I don't want to waste time. So here's a song by Sting called If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free. Too loud. All right. That's it. That's all. I hope that was okay. I hope it sounded good. I played some drums. There you go. Happy. Okay, I need to go. I'm tired. I need to eat and I need to go do some work. But that was fun. That was fun. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening and participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening, wherever you live. Come back and see me tomorrow. And tomorrow is an open class for open questions. Okay, so Sajjad or anybody else who's watching, you know, some days when I'm here, you have to follow me. But some days I have open classes, open questions where you can ask anything. Okay, so Sajjad, Monday and Friday, those are two questions for 2 days that any question's okay. Okay, Monday and Friday you can ask anything, but other days I try to have things prepared. Okay, all right, thanks guys, bye, see you guys next time.